Hey everybody. So I had a different video planned, but I received one of those comments that I had to address. And, besides the derogatory, mean aspect of it, which, really doesn't bother me because I'm old and I don't give a shit. One of the last comments he made was a real professional would never use a 35mm lens for portraits anyway. It distorts the face, blah, blah. It's like telling me his opinion, which is directly in line with the Kool-Aid he drank from influencers. You can shoot a portrait with any lens. It's how you use that lens that matters. So just to drive the point home and to get you out of the mindset that you have to have an 85, 1.4, or 1.2 to shoot portraits, which is the norm, I guess. And, kind of infuriating to me. It creates a great portrait, and the argument that I get from some people all the time, and they're usually, people just starting out, is this is what the people want, so this is what I give them. And the people will take anything you give them if you give them something unique and they look great in the photo. And I understand that, that you want to provide the blown out, blurry, no idea where you're at background at all times, because it's the trend. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, being like everybody else puts you into just a category. And, at this point in time, even those of you that swear by the 85, 1.4, 1.2, and want that blurry, the only thing that matters in this picture is the background, not the subject kind of look. And yeah, I'm being a little belligerent and for a reason. Even you have to go, oh God, all these photos look the same. And I'm not being an asshole, I'm really not. It's just fact that like every single image you see, the subject has changed, everything else is exactly the same. So the one point I want to point out in this is this week, just this week only, stop down your lens, show some environment, back up a little bit, and just see what you can do with it. See if you like it. You may go, wow, adding something, other than blur is a good thing. Believe me, you can make your subject pop out of the image with a relaxed, great portrait and still show part of the environment and draw your people in more. Texture matters in an image. And you get very little texture, maybe a centimeter. This eye's in focus and everything else is just, and I even hate to say the words because they make me nauseous, creamy bokeh. Now, granted, I know there's times that blurry background is a great thing and adds a lot to an image. And or, if you're at a dump site and don't want to show the dump site, but which I think is crazy because a dump site would be kind of cool for some of the portraits. Anyway, get out of this comfort zone of just, literally anybody can do these photos. If you have the lens, you have the camera, and you have a pretty subject, put it down to 1.2, the camera's gonna do the focusing for you, it does the thought process, all you do is push the little button. Find environments, find something that's actually good looking in the background. It's still gonna be a little blurry, obviously, because you want your subject to pop, but stop down a little bit, show a little bit more. Anyway, getting back to the main subject of this, as I always go off on a rant, you can shoot portraits with a 35. And this was in reference to the 23mm Fuji, which I love, by the way. Absolutely fabulous lens. And yeah, it was a great portrait lens. The images look fantastic. And as a somewhat of a pro, I can tell you that it works. But to drive the point home, I'm going to shoot a session with a 28mm today, just a straight 28mm. I'm not great at wide angle portraits, but I'm willing to work at it to make it great. And you can shoot portraits even with a 28 millimeter or a 24, but I'm going to use the 28 today. And, just let you sit on the shoot and show you some of the images from it. So don't drink the Kool-Aid all the time. Yes, there's some great valid points that YouTube photographers, not influencers, make. And that's very, very helpful. I mean, hell, I still watch YouTube photographers to get tips and hints and ideas. But YouTube influencers posing as photographers, I'm sorry. If this pisses you off, I'm sure you'll give me the comments. I don't care. You can't keep cramming shit down people's throats because it sells something for a company that sends you free shit. Okay? Yes, photographers, you can use a 28, you can use a 24, you can make some unique photos with these. Of course, if you go into their face this far away with a 28 millimeter, it's going to distort the face. So back off a little bit. Stop down a little bit. You can shoot 1.7 with a lens and get that blurry background if you're back just a little bit and not distorting their face. Try it, have fun with it, and this week, just stop down your lens, pay attention to your background and see what you can get. I think you're going to be really impressed with yourself, and some of the images you produce are going to be, you're going to enjoy it. And it's going to give you a different look other than the creamy bokeh. Anyway, have a great day. Here's the shoot. I hope you enjoy it. And again, sorry for the rant and the anger and, going off a little bit. See ya.
So the first part of this shoot, I'm using the Godox AD200 with that angler softbox setup. Love this, gotta try it. And it's just one strobe. I have the grid on it, and this is how I started out. And you see how close I am to the model. There's very little distortion in her face whatsoever, and or in the product. This I had to throw in just to embarrass her because it was so close, but man, did she save it. Slippery gloves. Anyway, and then I switched to LEDs because I just couldn't get the look I was looking for with the one strobe, so I threw one behind because I wanted to light up the bottle, of course, from behind and have that light coming through. But just a real brief look at some of the photos that I took and how close I was with the 28 millimeter, and this is on the Leica Q2. You can shoot portraits or anything else. That's a stack of papers I found because I just needed a quick fill. I didn't want to pull out my big reflector, so I just used a stack of paper to give that little bit of fill on the left side. It's that easy, and the last section here is just natural light. So yes, you can shoot portraits with a 28 millimeter lens.